It was supposed to be a weekend getaway and escape from the constant noise of the city. Mark, his girlfriend Sarah, and their two friends, Josh and Emily, had planned the trip for weeks. A remote cabin deep in the Montana wilderness, surrounded by towering pines and a winding river, promised peace, adventure, and solitude. They arrived just before sunset. The cabin was old but sturdy, with a stone fireplace and wooden beams darkened by time. A single lantern swung from the porch, casting elongated shadows across the clearing. The nearest town was a 2-hour drive away, and there was no cell service. That was part of the appeal, disconnecting from the world. The first night passed without issue. They drank, laughed, and shared stories by the fire. The only sounds were the crackling wood and the distant hoot of an owl. It wasn't until the second day that things began to feel off. Mark woke early to go fishing at the river. The morning air was crisp, and mist hovered over the water. He cast his line and settled in. After a while, he noticed something strange. There were no birds. The forest, usually alive with chirping and rustling, was silent. A branch snapped behind him. He turned quickly, expecting to see Josh or Sarah, but the tree line was empty. Brushing it off as an animal, he continued fishing. Minutes later, a low, distant whistle echoed through the trees. It wasn't the wind. It was deliberate, slow, drawn out. Someone was out there. Mark packed up and hurried back to the cabin. He didn't mention the whistle, not wanting to worry the others. By the afternoon, Sarah and Emily had gone hiking, while Josh stayed back to chop firewood. Mark took the chance to explore the surroundings alone, trying to shake his unease. He found something about a mile from the cabin, a tattered blue tent, partially collapsed. It looked abandoned, the fabric torn as if by claws or a knife. A rusted lantern lay on its side, and inside, Mark found a backpack filled with rotting food, an old map, and a bloodstained jacket. His stomach twisted. He grabbed the map, recognizing the cabin's location circled in red. Someone had been watching them. A sound behind him. He spun around. Nothing, just trees. Mark ran back to the cabin, this time telling Josh what he had found. They decided not to tell the girls, at least not yet, but that night they locked the doors and kept the fire burning. Sometime past midnight, Mark woke to the sound of footsteps outside the cabin. Slow, heavy. He nudged Josh awake. They listened, holding their breath. Then, a long, guttural howl split the night. Not a wolf, not a coyote. It was human, twisted, agonized, like someone screaming through clenched teeth. The footsteps retreated into the trees. Mark gripped the hunting knife they had brought. "We're leaving first thing in the morning." They packed up at dawn, shoving their gear into the truck. The forest felt wrong, like it was holding its breath. The moment they turned onto the dirt road, Sarah screamed. A man stood at the edge of the trees, gaunt, with wild eyes and a tangled beard. His clothes were in tatters, his skin smeared with filth. He didn't move, just stared as they passed. The truck hit a pothole and lurched. When Mark looked back, the man was gone. They drove in silence until they reached the main road. Only then did they let out the breath. They didn't realize they were holding the news. A week later, Mark couldn't shake the feeling. He searched online for missing persons near Black Hollow. Buried in old reports, he found that 3 hikers had disappeared in the area last year. Only one body had been found, half buried near the river. Cause of death, unknown. A final chill ran through him as he read the last line of the report. Unidentified human bite marks were found on the remains.